I think being afraid is what keeps a lot of people from being successful. It's a barrier that sometimes we put on ourselves. Why would you be afraid if God is with you every single day? As an immigrant, my mother came from Mexico, came here, my dad as well, and they instilled in us having that working hard mentality, having integrity, being persistent, never giving up. And I think that I really took that to heart. For me, it would be if the day I stop being happy at what I'm doing, I'm going to stop doing it. So for me is the day I stop being happy, and and it just becomes that complicated, then I just stop doing it. And that's how I track it. I need to be happy at everything that I do. And if I'm not, it's not even about the money.
Hello, and welcome to the C-Suite Power Play. Today, we are highlighting an incredible Dallas force, Amanda Moreno-Lake, an incredible entrepreneur from our community. I'm Ruth Villalonga, and this is my partner,
JC Gonzalez. Very excited to be here, and we're here with Amanda. Amanda is president of Redevelopment at Jim Lake's company. Now, one thing that really stood out, Amanda, is Queen of Oak Cliff. and for those who are not familiar with Oak Cliff, it's a gym here in Dallas, Texas, that used to be I would say, struggling community until Amanda got involved back in 1980s. Amanda, welcome. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate you taking the time. Busy individual, because not only are you running the company itself, but you are chairwoman and also interim CEO of a Chamber of Commerce.
That's correct. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you both.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. We are excited to have you in the C-Suite Power Play. And Amanda's journey is extraordinary. And we were just talking how inspirational she is for our community. She started running a beauty salon.
Correct.
And even a Western
Store,
right?
Correct.
And soon she discovered her love for real estate.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your beginnings in what it is traditionally a male-dominated industry?
Yes, I did. Started acquiring some real estate back in the late 80s. And I started with one little house. And I actually bought my first house when I was 19 years old.
Wow.
And my dad, it was traveling back and forth to Mexico. And he said, real estate is what you need to do. And he started acquiring some properties in Mexico. So I learned that from my family, my mother and my father, that invested in another country living here.
I love it.
I know.
So at age 19,
Yes.
very impressive.
Thank you.
So we know where a lot of this came from. You're talking about your dad, but let's go back to the beginning, because a lot of times folks are very scared to take that initial step, right? Tell me more about your mindset and why you did what you did. What were those steps?
I think being afraid is what keeps a lot of people from being successful. It's a barrier that sometimes we put on ourselves. And I've always believed that why would you be afraid if God is with you every single day? And that is my mindset. Every day is a treasure hunt. And I just go out there and try to do the best that I can.
And that is something I live by. I believe that God does not make mistakes. And based on that, you have the confidence that you're probably walking the right path and just being a manifestation of that universal force.
I always say you got to claim it, speak it, and write it.
Yes, that is true.
Claim it, speak it, and write it.
As we guide entrepreneurs through their journey, as they seek to scale their organizations, what do you think are the key lessons in your upbringing and the key business decisions that at that point where you were at the hair salon, you took that allow you to not only veer in a different direction and step into a different industry, but take the bull by the horn and scale it?
Well, I think it was that commitment and dedication. Even as an immigrant, my mother came from Mexico, came here, my dad as well, and they instilled in us having that working hard mentality, having integrity, being persistent, never giving up. And I think that I really took that to heart because I never gave up at anything that I've ever done. And I saw how hard my father worked and how he would always tell me, Amanda, this is the land of opportunity. So you're going to make as much or as less, but what it does take is a lot of work. And if you're willing to work, you can be successful.
I love it. The American dream.
That is correct.
Talk about. Could you share some of the challenges that you faced or some of the key learnings through the different businesses that you own that really have shaped to where you are now?
I think just getting familiar with how the city worked and how do you pull a permit, how do you deal with non-conforming uses, and joining organizations that are going to help you. I joined, the Oak Cliff Chamber of Commerce and the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I got really involved. And I think that's the key to success is really getting involved in building relationships, because when you build relationship, money comes. And so, for me, at the beginning, it was just learning. I was a sponge. I wanted to surround myself with people that were smarter than me in different areas and that were willing to take a chance on me. And I had a wonderful mentor that helped me too. So I think that it's important that if you have an opportunity to get a mentor, that you do so.
And that is key for growth and for a lot of business owners really taking their venture to the next level.
That's correct.
Surrounding themselves with the right people. I always say your network is your net worth.
That's right.
That's really where the wealth that you have is concentrated. And your reputation is the key to that net worth.
That's correct.
And it is really interesting how a mentor, a relationship can really spark a new opportunity, a new contract, a new capacity that you didn't think of for the business. And you thought about connecting with organizations too, not just networking person to person, but really belonging to organizations that have been designed. And, our call is for our viewers and our audience to seek out those organizations in their community.
Right, because it gives you an opportunity to meet other people that are in different industries, and also gets you an opportunity to meet your city council, your state representative, which is important, who your city manager is, what kind of programs are available. So it's knowledge is power.
I want to touch a little bit about the chamber. So as many know, the Irving Hispanic Chamber is the sponsor and great partner of this podcast.
Thank you, Irving Chamber.
Yeah.
But I also want to give kudos to another one because before I joined the Irving Hispanic Chamber, I am the past chair. But before Irving, I was a member of Dallas. You were a board member of the Dallas Hispanic Chamber, and now you are the president and CEO or interim CEO, but the chairperson.
Correct.
So for those who don't understand a chamber of commerce, the value that it brings, what advice would you give?
I think that every chamber has something. I always say you're going to get what you put in whenever you join an organization. If you join and you never show up and you never participate, then how are you going to get anything out of it? Our chamber is an educational chamber that really helps educate the business owner to get started. And every organization, like the Irving Chamber, the Grand Prairie Chamber, Oak Cliff Chamber, Hispanic Chamber, all these chambers are there to be able to help you. So not just be a member of one chamber, join several chambers because you get to meet different people and different businesses.
And it's a good call. Be involved. Don't
Correct.
pay the membership and call it a day and only attend the gala once a year. Be involved. Find ways to connect with others and to get connected with contracts.
That's
and to
correct.
get contract ready, which is something that we see a lot of small businesses fail to. They cannot scale because they are not ready for those big opportunities knocking on their door.
Right. They don't have the certifications that it requires, maybe even the bonding. A lot of the times contractors probably won't get the contract because their bonding is not what it needs to be. They don't have their vendors packet in the way they should. So there's just so much information out there that you can get by being part of these organizations.
I love it. Great opportunity. Hit a lot of key areas. Something I noticed about you, Amanda, because I've seen you at different events, you're always giving advice. You're always trying to advocate for others.
Right.
So curious, you talked about mentors, and I see you as a mentor.
Well, thank you.
Why is that so important?
Well, a mentor can help you and guide you. My mentor was Victor Ballas, an amazing human being. I thank God for him because he really helped me. He was in the industry from at a very young age. And so all his mistakes that he made, he was able to speak to me of them and said, don't do this, do it this way. And with his experience and his knowledge, I was able to have someone to guide me. And so for me, that was extremely important. He is no longer with us. He passed in February. I'm not going to cry about it because I feel like now he's in a better place. But I have so many lifetime memories.
And you
That'll stay with me forever.
Yeah, of course, mentors leave a footprint or a fingerprint that nothing can take away. And it's, we are in a way a testament to their commitment and their love for the community and others. But as you mentioned, he shares some of his mistakes, right, in order to avoid you making the same mistakes. So thinking about, I was talking to my daughter's teacher this morning, and she was explaining to me how they tell the kids that the reason why pencils have an eraser is because we all will make mistakes.
That's correct.
And we all need to erase and rewrite and continue. So
and learn from them because when you make a mistake, it's also a moment of education.
But exactly. Talk to us about some of what you have considered have been some of the biggest pitfalls perhaps that you have had in the business and how you recover, how you reimagine the situation. And
well, a lot of the times it's when you're doing redevelopment, it takes a lot of time. It doesn't happen overnight. Bishop Arts literally took about 20 years. And so it didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of time. It's a partnership with the municipality you're working with. And so I've made some mistakes, a mistake that, I should have checked some infrastructure before I bought those buildings, because if I wanted to redevelop them, then you need to make sure that the infrastructure is in place. Because when you start creating a mixed-use development, what's going to happen whenever the sewer lines are not in place, And here you are. So I did make a mistake. I bought a set of buildings, and the infrastructure wasn't in place. It took some time, about 5 to 6 years for it to for the municipality to do all the infrastructure. It was an $8 million project that the city ended up putting in their own city to redevelop it. But then COVID hit, and then what happened? It was a shutdown. And then when we were trying to get out of COVID, what happened next? It was the workforce, the materials, you can find it, and then the interest rates. So every time you try to create a pro forma, you were going to be changing it because it kept going up. I was borrowing money at like 4.5%, 5%. It went up to 6, 7, 8. And then what happens? You have these buildings that you can't develop, but people that see this, they're going to think, well, why hasn't she developed these buildings? But they don't understand that these type of redevelopment is harder to redevelop than to build from the ground up. Because whenever you're building from the ground up, you know what the specs are from the beginning. But when you're redeveloping, it's like Pandora's box. You don't know what you're going to get into. So that's something that now when I go to a municipality and I'm going to redevelop, I'm going to make sure that the infrastructure is in place.
She certainly learned that lesson.
Here's something that's standing out. I see the passion.
Yeah.
The passion, the transparency, and being vulnerable. That's very courageous to do, very brave. Now, I'm getting excited. Inside, I'm jumping up and down because you talked about banking. But before we talk about COVID, how you survived COVID and talk about banking, I want to talk a little bit, because you opened the door about Bishop Arts.
Yes.
Now, I'm born and raised in the Dallas area, love my community. And I remember telling friends, hey, let's go eat at a certain restaurant down Jefferson or go to Oak Cliff. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, when I was younger, were very hesitant of going to Oak Cliff. But now, when I talk to friends, they're like, yeah, let's go to Bishop Arts. Now, if you could figure out the parking situation, I'll be a lot happier. But
I always say, if you don't have a parking problem, you have a problem.
That's true. Talk about being resourceful. She has the spin going. Are you planning to get into PR?
No, you guys are doing an awesome job.
You're too kind, too kind. During a time that many people weren't looking at Oak Cliff, what drew your attention to the area? Because now I encourage everyone to Google Bishop Arts District here in Dallas, Texas. You're going to find a lot of great information, a lot of little hidden gems, great restaurants, shopping.
One of a kind.
Yes.
Absolutely. But it's because of you. You were a big part of that.
Well, I say it's about, the people that surround me, that help me and guide me. My husband he started in Bishop Arts in 85. I have to give that disclaimer. They started in 85. I started in 89, 90. But, it's just in Bishop Arts, it was just boarded up. And, I always wanted to have my own business because my dad said, Amanda, if I've had, like you mentioned, a beauty shop, a coffee shop, a Western store. I've been in the business, a jewelry store, a trucking company. I mean, I've been out there just hustling, should I use the word hustle? But, just working really hard and having that commitment. Bishop Arts took time and it wasn't easy. And I didn't know a whole lot about construction. My dad was in construction business, but I learned. And a lot of people took advantage of me because I didn't know, how much a 5-ton HVAC was going to cost me. There was a lot of unknowns, but all of those lessons helped me. And the inspectors helped me. Every time they gave me a red tag, because the construction guys weren't doing the correct work. And so I had to get it fixed. So, people may see inspectors that they're not, they're giving me a hard time. No, they're not giving you a hard time. They gave you the red tag because the work wasn't done properly, and they're going to have to set it up for reinspection.
And it's risk management. They're
That's
protecting
correct.
you
That's
from
correct.
something worse in the future.
That's
Along this conversation, I've heard about research properly, plan properly. I also heard be ready for the unexpected and for the curveballs that are going to come your way.
Right.
Surround yourself with the right people. Sort out a mentor that you can soak in and really learn from. And then, be open to experiencing or trying different things out until you find your own. What an incredible lesson. And on top of all that, she takes all that journey and she invests in helping other entrepreneurs. What a win-win for our community.
Thank you.
What motivates that work?
I think that because I believe in paying it forward. I really, truly do. Victor took a chance on me and helped me and guided me. And I know how tough it is to start your own business or to be a business owner. It's very difficult. So you have to have someone to help you. And so when I have had the opportunity and to help and guide, I want to pay it forward like he did with me. And another advice I would tell you is have several different banks, not just focus on one banker, have several different banking industries, because as you start growing, you start, needing more money. So you have to build those relationships with different banks. And I've just been very blessed to have even a credit union. I have a wonderful credit union that have believed in me as well, that let me borrow money. And people look at me, what do you mean? You deal with the credit union? I thought you just deal with big banks. Well, you have to use all the resources that are out there. So I go from a credit union to a community bank because I want my banker to know me. I don't want to be just a number for a bank that they don't even know who I am. I want to build that relationship with my bankers, and I've done that. And I think that is what's helped me as well to be successful, because I play with their money now.
Well said, and something I'm very proud, because when you talk about banking in Wells Fargo, along with other institutions, we're proud partners of Chambers of Commerce, and that's another way you could, I would say, vet your banks, right? So I'm excited here. We're talking about banking, and I'm curious. I've asked this to other folks. How many times do you meet with your bankers?
Quite often. In fact, today I just came back from visiting my banker. I speak to him several times, not just one time a week. I speak several times sometimes, I keep that line of communication because truly when a banker gets to know who you are and they believe in you and entrust in you and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, then they're there to help you and invest. That's what they're in business for, right?
I love it. And why do you meet with them so regularly?
Well, I built my relationship with them. I meet with them because I talk to them sometimes about a line of credit, or I talk to them about hey, there's another there's another building that I want to purchase, and giving them the information and giving them a copy of the contract and asking them if they'll let me borrow money. And gracias a Dios.
She's not done. She's not done growing and scaling.
Being
He said yes,
right?
being proactive. And so I do meet with them because it's important to have a line of credit for me as well, because, when an opportunity comes and I got to close quickly, I always say I can close it in 30 days, 0 inspections. I have a line of credit ready to close, It's because I'm in the industry. I can go into a building and be able to know what I need to do. So
it's always best to be prepared and the opportunity not come than the opportunity come and not be prepared. Right. So being proactive and having that aligned. Now I'm very excited because Ruth travels with her banker.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yes.
I don't do that.
No, wait a minute. We try and I have a podcast with my banker. No, we do have some commitments around the country that we have attended together, and it's always great to have that advocate next to you.
Right.
Really making the right introductions sometimes, making the right connections, while also advising you, right, of what the right resources are for you for a given contract. And there's something I put a lot of emphasis on for our small business community, and it is be ready. You have to be contract ready. You have a big contract ready. You are the size of your vision.
Right.
Like today's CEO should make the decisions not based on today, but based on the 20-year vision of that CEO. So is that guy or woman who has to be making the decisions of today. And for that, you need to be ready. We have, for example, the World Cup coming to our community and many cities across the country. And, the economic development of such an incredible world event would only trickle down to communities if businesses are ready.
That's correct.
So it is important to, be ready when the opportunity knocks on your door. I mean, there is a lot of responsibility on being lucky. I believe in the harder you work, the luckier you get. And that part of it is being able to take an opportunity when it comes your way. As we keep the conversation, I want to also, we have a sort of like a quick fire set of questions that we want to throw your way.
Okay, I'm ready.
So the first one, I'll start, and is one lesson from your entrepreneurial journey every leader should apply in their own journey.
You said it. Be ready. Be prepared. Prepare yourself.
Awesome.
I love it. Now, you mentioned the infrastructure, right? But let me ask you another one. What's another mistake or opportunity you'll never make again?
One mistake I made was not going and looking at a building, and I was such in a hurry. It was such a great deal. I was afraid that somebody else was going to get it, and so I just signed it without even going to see it. And then I closed on it, which was a big mistake. I closed on it. I go see it, and it is a disaster. But you know what? It wasn't a very expensive location, but I fixed it, and the outcome came good. But because of my knowledge and my experience, I was able to turn it around. But sometimes whenever you're going so fast, you're doing so many things. I made the biggest mistake a long time ago, not going to see this little house that I acquired, and that was a mistake. And at the time, it was a mistake. When I take my husband, he's like, Amanda, what did you do? And I was like, come on, let's go see this little place I just bought. It was not that expensive. And I get there. I was like, oh, my God, Amanda. But you know what? I did it, and I learned from it, so I'll never do that again. Before I close on it, I'm going to... And someone like myself that has the knowledge and the experience, and I've been doing it, I don't know how many times over. My sister brought me the deal, and I just did it.
Did I hear not to make emotional decisions? I think it was an emotional decision because sometimes it's a little bit of a gamble with the timing on business, right?
To go on that.
Well, and then my sister brought it to me, so I believed it. I didn't even verify it.
The first home I bought, I went with someone else's recommendation instead of finding my own inspector. So yes, after changing the plumbing and the electrical work, that was a mistake that I learned as well. So I'm with you, Amanda. I'm with you on that.
Now, one metric you track daily to measure success.
For me, it would be if the day I stop being happy at what I'm doing, I'm going to stop doing it. So for me is the day I stop being happy, and it just becomes that complicated, then I just stop doing it. And that's how I track it. I need to be happy at everything that I do. And if I'm not, it's not even about the money. Because you only have one life, and you got to live it the best you can.
When you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life.
That's right. And I truly believe it. So that's how I track it, happiness.
That's amazing. And I feel that there's something in life that came to me a little later, but I finally found it, which is alignment. And when you are aligned with your purpose, there's a sense of completion and happiness that comes with everyday things because the universe conspires to see you succeed. So I completely relate.
I love it. Amanda, thinking about the future, what is one initiative, either community, innovation, or sustainability? What's one initiative you're excited about for next year?
So I'm excited about finishing the project I started that I bought almost 10 years ago.
Tell us about it.
It's a project. It's a couple of buildings in the southern sector, like past Waxahachie. And I'm excited about, being able to finish those. I have zero debt on them, and now I'm ready to start the construction. It's about 60,000 square feet of buildings. So,
and this is residential?
No, it's commercial in a downtown area.
Oh, wow. I hear ribbon cutting.
Yes, ribbon cut. Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. Because really, honestly, that project has taken me, from not even getting started and having it. That's a project that I'm going to complete. And so many people want me to sell it. I've been asked, they even call my attorney, does she want to sell it? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to sell it. In fact, I want to buy more because they got me a little upset. So whenever somebody gets me upset, I just buy your whole town.
I love it.
I love that.
There's something I read somewhere, and you remind me. It says, they said I couldn't, so I did.
Yes.
And then, of course, we're going to add, and we took pictures.
Yes. I'm going to invite you guys. Once it's done, I don't want to mention the municipality, but people that know they know me, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
I love that.
Well, I hope people in my town get you upset and you get half of that. I'll be celebrating for sure. God knows we need it. But this has been incredible. You have walked us through your journey, but also been very vulnerable about lessons learned, mistakes made.
And I've made plenty of them. Believe me, I've made plenty of mistakes.
I think that's something important to normalize. Really normalize being vulnerable and making mistakes. When you're in alignment and the universe conspires to your success, doesn't mean that you're not going to fail. You're going to fail, but you're going to find your way around it.
You also have to keep in mind, we never lose. Right. We either win or we learn.
Even when you lose, you win. Even when you lose, you win because you learn a valuable lesson. And so I truly, truly believe that. So,
well, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Incredible.
I really appreciate it.
It's an honor to have you in the C-Suite Power Play.
I feel like we just got started.
I know.
We have to continue this on. Looking forward to bringing you back and celebrating the commercial building and seeing where else you take our community.
Great. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. And we invite our listeners and our viewers to actually tune in their favorite podcast or video platform to get more insights and more knowledge and expertise from our incredible guests at the C-Suite Power Play.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Appreciate you all.